A Rwandan-backed rebel group called the March 23rd Movement has made rapid gains across the country's lucrative eastern provinces, where the majority of the country's gold and minerals are situated. Hundreds of thousands of Congolese refugees are fleeing their makeshift camps as fighting gets closer and closer to the city. The streets are now filled with families, once again on the run, carrying everything they own on their backs, displaced again.
Paul Kagame and his high command and training wing and military intelligence got together and sent out in the field groups of mobile forces. They did this clandestinely, and they started in the north where they were already present and in areas they had already seized. And they quickly proceeded to go down the eastern flank of the country to the south and then back up. April, as soon as the plane crash occurred, they seized territory rapidly, and behind the front, these mobile forces operated. What they did was they called Hutu peasants and Hutu community leaders to meetings. They would lure them, put them on buses. They took these people to mainly a place called Akagera Park, and they shot them and burnt the bodies there.
The Hutus who were going to escape the slaughter had three options: either to go down south into Burundi, or to go east into Tanzania, or to go into Congo through Congo. Now, the ones who ran into Tanzania, they were met at Pepli. And then the Hutus who were trying to flee into Tanzania were captured by the Tutsi forces, which had already captured that territory, dumped them in the river. These are the people who floated down the river into Lake Victoria and Uganda. And then Paul Kagame and the Museveni and their benefactors outside paraded these dead bodies as these are the Tutsis who have been killed by the Hutus, when it is the other way around.
There's no doubt that that testimony and those stories of Hutus being slaughtered, burned, and chased into Tanzania, and then their bodies, the bodies of people who died, were dumped in the Akagera River. There's no doubt that the UN knew.
Well, we see that at work today in Rwanda as well. That's the politics of genocide. It's a very narrow, one-sided story, which to this very day is used to defend the people that did the killing and to punish the victims. To defend the people that did the killing and to punish the victim.
It went absolutely according to plan. Habyarimana and his government were gone. The Hutu government of Burundi was gone. The border with Zaire, Democratic Republic of Congo, became more porous. Eventually, Mobutu was gone, and the entire area and its natural resources were up for grabs to the highest bidder, U.S. being The world's only remaining superpower was, of course, the country that stood to benefit the most.
Everybody's talking about the genocide in Rwanda. I acknowledge it. It was awful. It's one of the greatest crimes in the last century. And yet, right across the border, millions of people have died. And no one is talking about it.
Kagame did not come riding in to stop killing in 1994. His gang invaded Rwanda in 1990, 4 years before, to begin the genocide. He orchestrated and accomplished much of the killing, including killing of Tutsis by Hutus and by his own men. The evidence suggests more Hutus than Tutsis were killed. That was from 1990 until the end of 1994. He continued beyond this in Rwanda and in Congo.
What is your movement's aims now?
Our main aim now is to stop, to reinforce our battalion in Kigali. And secondly is to try and see if we can help the United Nations to restore order in the capital city.
The RPF first, when it invaded Rwanda, it killed Hutus and Tutsis, which means that it did not invade Rwanda to save Tutsis. Tutsis who had been left behind, those Tutsis who remained in Rwanda in 1959, 1973, those were not the aristocrats. The aristocrats are Kagame and his associates. They don't care about those people.
If 1 million Rwandans died and 200,000 of them were Tutsi, that means 800,000 of them were Hutu.
That's completely the opposite of what the world believes happened in the Rwandan genocide.
What the world believes and what actually happened are quite different.
It's this girl that she was riddled with bullet wounds, like she was just, shouldn't have been walking. It's like Bonnie and Clyde's car. She was just all shot up. And she came over to me and like a ghost, she just put her hand out to me and she said, "Don't you go anywhere." Well, I wasn't going anywhere because it was like, you know, I would have been cut in half by bullets myself. And then she went and got her older sisters, and I think her mother was an older woman. And like a little gaggle of geese, she brought them across through all the dead, all the bullets, and she kept on getting hit by more bullets, but none of them did. And then she just settled them around me and she said, "Now you get them out of here." And she put her head down on my chest and she was all hot. And then within a few seconds she was cold and she died. And that was my whole life, that was the bravest act I've ever seen. And that girl hadn't done anything. She couldn't have possibly been part of any genocidal massacres.
Everybody is saying that 8 million people have been killed in the DRC. 500,000 women have been raped, but no one is pointing the finger in the right direction. All these things are happening because we have someone called Mr. Kagame. He is the only one who is training his Tutsi militia, sending them in the DRC to create instability in the eastern part of the Congo so that he may occupy that part of the Congo.
Rwanda and Uganda, with the support of the United States, including weapons and soldiers that worked with them and marched with them all the way into the Congo, invaded the Congo. They have been occupying the Congo since 1998. The world is keeping quiet. The world is keeping quiet because the world is participating in this Holocaust. The whole world is participating in this Holocaust, including the United Nations. And shame on us, shame on the world, shame on every human being that has some kind of power to stop this, and it is not stopping this, beginning with the superpower, the United States. Shame on us.
The RPF started shooting on a refugee camp. We were probably 100,000 of refugees on the shore of the river. So we put the raft in, and we were stuck on a huge rock in the middle of the river. And what we could see on the other side is people being killed, the bombs are falling on the shores of the river, people are running in the forest. And I was like, well, we'll never be able to leave again. This might be my last time. To my mind, I was like, no, I don't need assistance. What I need is to escape. What I need is to get away from this Hutu and Tutsi conflict because it's bigger than me.